What's up guys? So today I want to talk about being able to squat down or below parallel. There seems to be this thing out there where people think you either can do it or you can't do it and it's just genetics and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just not true. Now granted, some people are more genetically gifted than others, some people are genetically more flexible than others, but that doesn't mean just because you can't squat low now that you can't squat low in the future if you go about it in the right way. So in this video I want to talk about some of the things you can do to start improving your squat depth if you have issues with it. Me personally, I had a ton of issues with squat depth. I've improved it. I have no problem getting below parallel now. It's taken a lot of work though, and I want to try to help get you there. Now to me, the number one reason why people cannot squat low is generally mobility and flexibility issues. We live a very sedentary lifestyle now, and even those of us who live an active lifestyle, we usually spend a lot of time sitting at a desk. We have a desk job, or we're sitting and editing videos all the time, or we're just, for whatever reason, we spend a lot of time on the computer. And this causes a lot of tightness, especially in the hips. And that's a big key contributor when it comes to squatting low. If you have super tight hips, if you have tight hamstrings, if you have tight calves, or if you have muscle imbalances in all these different areas, it can really inhibit the chances of squatting low. So those are the big things that you need to work on. Now besides mobility and flexibility, your anatomy does come into play. Some people have long femurs, some people have short femurs. Your femur is what connects your hip and your knee. And if you have really long femurs and you're trying to stay upright like is always taught with the squat, you need to keep your chest up and get down. Well, if you have a long femur, you're not going to be able to do that. The longer your femur is, the more forward lean you're going to have in your squat to be able to keep in the right position and get all the way down. So the big thing is the bar path needs to stay pretty well in line to the middle of your foot. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail in squat technique in this video, but stay tuned because I am going to do 2 future videos about not only squat technique, but also how to properly warm up for squat depending on how your body functions. So make sure you're subscribed if not already, because that information will be coming out. But for this video, we are just going to talk about how to get your body to squat low if you're not currently able to do so. Now besides stretching, there's a couple different exercises you can do that will help. One of them that I really like a lot for people that are not able to squat low is to use the Goblet Squat. Basically just grab a kettlebell, bring it to the front of your body, and you're going to squat down, and you're going to, if you can, drive your elbows and open up your hips. This will really help. You'll be able to sink low. It'll be a lot easier than doing it with the barbell. This can really help teach the squat for people who have a really hard time squatting low. Another really good one is called the pull squat, which is also a good exercise, which you can basically, you just go up and you grab a pull and you sink down into the squatting position and you just hang on to it, and that way if you have issues with staying balanced and staying upright, you can use this to help sink low and kind of teach your body how to get down to that breaking point. Alright guys, one of the big things that I really recommend people start doing if they aren't already doing it is foam rolling. This will really help loosen things up. Our muscles get a lot of knots in them, they get stiff and tight, and this will really help loosen it up. It's going to be painful. It's just like if you ever gone in and gotten a deep tissue massage. It's going to hurt. They're going to be getting in there and getting after it to loosen it up, and it's going to be painful, but in the long run it's really going to help not only loosen things up, but really solve a lot of your pain issues. Like this one right here, the inside of your knee, inside of the quad area, if you loosen that up, that could probably take care of a lot of knee pain if you're having it, because a lot of times that's coming from different tight areas you have in your muscles. So really recommend it. I actually learned this barbell trick from Barbell and Kilos. Really good one. If you get to the point where foam rolling isn't quite getting in there deep enough, you can go ahead and use this, and that's really going to get in there, but it's pretty painful like I said. Another thing you can do if you can't quite get deep enough is take a lacrosse ball and get into those little nooks and crannies that you just can't quite get with a foam roller. It will also help get it a little deeper so you can kind of get into those tight spots. I like to use it quite a bit for my hips, for my glutes, for my lower back. Really has helped quite a bit getting those spots loosened up, and it's really alleviated a lot of the pains that I used to have. I had a lot of hip pain and I had a lot of pain with my knees and stuff, and it's just really gotten rid of almost all of that. So as I was mentioning before, a big deal for a lot of people that keeps them from squatting low is opening up their hips. If they have really stiff and tight hips, they can't quite get there. So a really good stretch that you can do for that is this one, where you put your foot on the back of either like a stool or a bench or whatever, and you bring your other foot forward and you lean forward so it pulls on your hip flexors, and then you make sure you keep your upper body pulled back as much as you can, and that's really going to help stretch that out. That's going to be a really good one. Now here's another one where you just put your foot up just below hip level and just kind of stretch it out this way. These little massage table things or whatever you call them are pretty much the perfect height for me, but whatever works for you, whatever's a good height, bring it up, and that's going to help open up those hips. It's going to stretch out the glutes a little bit as well. It's going to be a good one. This one's a good one as well. It really helps open up those hips. Just get down on your knees and just try to open up as much as possible. You can use your hands to push them out if you need to, and just hold that and hold it for quite a while. Just make sure you get nice and loose. And this one's a good one as well. If you just bring your hips close to the wall, put your feet up on the wall and open up your hips. You can use your hands to pull your knees farther apart to get a really good stretch. It looks a little goofy, but it's a really good stretch to get things opened up, so I really recommend it. So the next one after hips that's a big deal for a lot of people is hamstrings. This is a pretty standard hamstring exercise. Most people know about it already. You just put your front foot forward and you just reach out and grab it. If you can't grab your toe, don't worry, just reach as far as you can. It'll make a difference, trust me. I used to not be able to grab my toes either, and now it's no big deal, so you just got to give it some time. This is another one that's pretty good if you don't have a lot of flexibility. You just bring your front foot forward, your back foot opens up at about a 45-degree angle. Keep that leg as straight as possible and reach down and just hold it. This is another good one that most people don't seem to know about. Keep your legs straight, point those toes straight up, and just lean forward. Try to keep your back straight. That's going to give a good pull, and it's going to open up basically wherever you're tight, you're going to feel it there. Now back to the goofy wall stretches. Same thing, bring your hips right up close to the wall. Just open up the legs, keep them straight, and just slide them down. It's going to pull wherever it seems to be tight, and it's going to help open things up quite a bit. Now this stretch is actually more for the upper hamstrings, and it also kind of stretches where it ties into the glutes. Really good stretch, especially if you get that lumbar flexion at the bottom of the squat. This can really help with that. It's also called butt wink. Something I've been working on. I do have small issues with that, so it's something I've been trying to deal with. And this last one's a little more intense, but it's a really good hamstring stretch if you're trying to really get things loosened up. Just basically use an area where you can prop one leg up and put your other leg down. A door frame is a good spot to do this one. I learned this trick from Fitness Oriented actually. And this is a really intense stretch. And the more flexible you get, you just scoot it a little bit closer to get a better stretch. And the last area that people seem to have a lot of issues with that prevents them from squatting low is the calves. So again, we're doing some soft tissue work here, trying to just get things nice and loose. One of the better stretches that I use all the time is this wall stretch. I have very, very tight calves, which you wouldn't think so because I don't really have calves, but somehow those non-existent calves get tight. And especially my left calf, considering I had ankle surgery a few years back, is just always tight. So bring the foot up and just lean into it. Really good stretch. This is another good one. You can use your off foot to press back on the heel of the calf that you want to stretch and bring it down to the floor. This will really help stretch things out. If you can already get there without the help, you probably don't have tight calves to begin with, and it's not going to be an issue, but for me, it's really helped. I used to not get anywhere close to the ground, and it's really helped open things up. Now, one of the things that's key is you got to make sure you're doing these stretches a lot. It's not just something you can do once a week and expect to make any improvements. I really recommend doing this stuff every single day and hold these stretches for a good 30 to 40 seconds at a time. Do it a couple times a day if you can. It'll make a big difference. You'll probably see noticeable improvements within a week, and just over time it's really going to make a big difference. Now, you won't have to do it every single day of the rest of your life, but at first, to make those adaptations and make your body get to the point where it needs to be, you need to be staying on it all the time or it's going to stay nice and tight. So these are just some of the things you can do to help out. There's definitely more things you can do than just this. There's plenty of different stretching exercises just to make sure you're stretching out whatever is tight on you. It's not the same for everybody. If you don't have tight hamstrings, spending a lot of time stretching your hamstrings isn't going to do a lot of good, but if your hips are super tight, then spend a lot of time opening up your hips and getting those nice and loose. You need to work on whatever is tight for you. Again, it's not the same for everybody. But in time, if you continue to work on this, it will definitely help. You'll start being able to squat lower. You'll see improvements. Make sure you start light as well. Once you start getting lower, you want to make sure you're working with light weight. Remember, it takes hundreds of reps for motor learning to take place, and you can't do it trying to rep out with the weight that you're using before when you weren't getting all the way down. It's going to be more challenging when you get all the way down below parallel. You can't do as much weight. Trust me, I know. Anyway, I hope this helped. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave any comments below and I will be sure to get back to you. Make sure you are subscribed so you can check out those future videos about technique and how to get warmed up for squats for you. And I'll see you guys in the next video.